strength and enticement. Proverbs chapter 1 verse number 10. If you're there, you need to have there. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Okay, let's go to the New Testament. I'm not going to read everything, but I'll read those that are important and then we'll see how far we go. 1 Corinthians chapter number 2 verse 4. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 4. And I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. Verse 5. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in the demonstration of the Spirit and of power, that your faith, verse 5, should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power, that your faith shall not stand. Keyword there is stand. Shall not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God. Hebrews chapter 12. Hebrews chapter number 12. Oh, are we together here? Okay. That's why. Wherefore, see also that we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. So let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset, ensnare, entice us. Let us run with patience, perseverance, depending on your translation, the race that is set before us. James chapter 1, the next book. James chapter 1 verse 12. Blessed is the man that endures temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brother. I won't bother reading Judges chapter 16, which is our key scripture. Judges 16, the story of Samson. The Bible told us in chapter 16 that Delilah, the elders of the Philistines, came to Delilah and they paid her 1,100 shekels of silver each person. 1,100 shekels of silver, and said, entice him for us. So everything Delilah did was to entice Samson to reveal the secret of his power. And we saw that she tried the first one and failed. She tried the second one and failed. And on the third attempt, she succeeded. And with that success came the end of the ministry and the strength, the anointing, the grace, the abilities, the enablement, the empowerment that God gave to this great man. This strong man that is adjudged to be the strongest man that ever lived. So what brought Samson down was not the strategies, the war strategies of the Philistines. It was not the ideologies of the elders or the warlords of the Philistines. It was not the armor and the weapons of their war. It was the enticement of Delilah. Is somebody paying attention? So the downfall of the man was due to the enticement of a woman that played her card very well, though she was paid to do that, but she knew what to do that made Samson to say what he shouldn't have said and reveal the secret of his power. And so when I began to look at that word enticement, I realized that throughout the scripture we've seen people who have failed to reach their heights and achieve their goals, who could not become who God has programmed them to be because of enticement. And the scripture is replete with examples of men that failed because they could not handle the pressures of enticement. So without looking at the dictionary, I will explain enticement from biblical angles in order for us to understand what it means. So if you look at 1 Corinthians, the Bible told us in chapter 2 that the gospel was not built on enticement. Is somebody paying attention? Paul said, and the preachings of my word and my words and my preachings did not come to you with the enticing words of man's wisdom, but in the demonstration of the Spirit and of power, so that your faith cannot and should not stand on the wisdom of men, but on the power of God. Which means that God did not want you and I to have beliefs that is anchored or centered on enticement. Somebody listening to me. So, and in so doing, I discover that to be enticed is to be lured. So you can be lured. When you are lured to do what ordinarily you wouldn't have done, you have been enticed. Am I talking to you? So enticement is the ability to lure a man or a woman to take certain actions or to do certain things which ordinarily he wouldn't have done if the situation was different. It can mean to be deceived, to believe a lie, to think that something is this way even though it is the other way. It meant a lot of things to different people that acted in different ways in the scripture. For example, I want to start with the first woman that was ever created, the woman we know as Eve, the wife of Adam. The Bible said that she was created to become a helper to the man, and when Adam was created, he was given dominion alongside the woman to control everything that was created. But amongst the creations was Nakash, the serpent. So before I go ahead, let me say something that is already established in our in the previous ones we've done before, that every one of you who God has given strength must understand that your strength will attract enemies. Am I talking to you? Your strength, as long as God has given you strength, you have an enemy. If you have a gift, if you have an ability, if you have a grace, if you have an anointing, if there is something that God has given to you, always know that that strength has already, it is not going to, it has already attracted enemies already. And the idea or the plan of those who hate you is to bring you down. And most times, because of the strength has the capacity to protect you. And unless you are enticed, all their plans may fail. Am I talking to you? Without enticement, it is difficult to fail with your strength. So, with the serpent Nakash saw the abilities given to Adam and the wife, they felt it is important. Remember that before the creation, the authority of the earth realm has already been given to man. And God said, Genesis 1:26, let us make man in our own image and let them have dominion. Somebody paying attention. So the dominion mandate was what the devil was looking for. I will establish something for you to know that what happened in Adam was Satan wanted the authority. He wanted to take away the strength of Adam and Eve. So he disguised himself as Nakash and appeared before Eve. And Eve was enticed. In that space, she was deceived to believe a lie. Am I talking to somebody? So enticement can work as deception. It comes in a big guy. That's why the Bible says the serpent was subtle. So the enemy can disguise as a friend. It can disguise as a benefactor. It can disguise as a helper, coming to help you come out of a problem that you have entered, but he is after your strength. Am I talking to you? So the serpent came pretending to help Eve, but at the end of the day, through the deception of enticement, they lost the authority. I'm giving you number one. So the enticement can be an ability to deceive a man to take an action that harms you. Am I talking to you? So you have been deceived to take an action that ordinarily you wouldn't have done if not for the deception. So to be enticed can mean to be deceived. Am I talking to you? I'll give you the second example. During the temptation of Jesus, the same serpent came when Jesus was hungry. And he said to him, if thou be the Son of God, command the stones to become bread. You know why? Because he knew that Jesus was hungry. Am I talking to you? Does Jesus have the capacity to do that? Yes. Can he change stones to be bread? If you want to change everything to become bread, he has the strength to do it. He has the ability, he has the enablement to do that. So he was enticed, thank God for his ability to withstand the temptation. But to show you that the devil had already collected the dominion from Adam, in the second one, the Bible said that he brought him and showed him the glory. I said, the glory of the whole world. I said, bow down to me. He said, for it has been given to me. The authority of the earth has been given. When was it given? When Adam and Eve failed in the garden, they lost the dominion to sin. Is somebody paying attention? So they collected the dominion through enticement. So in this instance, their intention was to lure. So enticement can mean to lure a man to take an action based on the situation he is going through. So you are hungry. You can be lured to do some things to quench your hunger. Am I talking to you? So enticement can mean to lure. So Satan tried to lure Jesus to provide bread in a way that God never ordained, just to satisfy that situation at that time. Am I talking to you? So enticement can be to lure. It can also mean to appease. Sometimes appeasement can come like a plea, as if they are begging you, please, please. That was a pattern that Eve used on Samson. So she appeased or appealed. Both of them can work concurrently. So she appeased Samson. She coaxed. That's another word. So enticement can mean to coax. So she said, tell me the source of your strength. Why did I say this? Because when somebody is being coaxed, there is no force or compulsion. And that is the weapon women use most on men. So your wife can try to appease or coax you, and you sign a check. Like after signing it, you ask yourself, how did I sign this check? Am I talking to you? When they want to do that, they can start by getting some dangerous food before you come home. Somebody pay attention. They just look for that food. They know that once you hear the smell, your brain will come. They don't make sure that the aroma is wonderful. As you open the door, the first thing that greets you is the presence of the woman and the aroma of the food. The enticement have started and you don't know. Am I talking to you? So as you are eating, they are telling you some sweet stories. But you know the day you first met me, what the concern first meeting you with what you are doing now. You know, that day, I don't know the way you spoke that day that made me to fall. But you were so, I looked at your nose that day and your nose is pointing. The same woman that have instructed you before that you have flat nose. And your brain will not tell you when did my nose become pointing. Your nose that is so flat. I say, and this your open teeth. Where? How? She's telling you what is appealing to your ears. Am I talking to you? And before you know it, it's okay. Then the next thing she will try to tell you stories. And I tell you, hide. This thing, the other one. And I try to argue, she's relaxed. She's touching your head. This white hair, sir. But 20,000. This white hair. 20,000. So okay. You will do the money. Only to remember the next minute that even your transport money the following day is involved. And once the money don't enter the woman hand, they don't go. Am I talking to you? So they know how to coax. Otherwise, how could a woman tell me the source of your strength? And then after finding me and I found out that the enemies came to kill me, and I go back to repeat it, he come again and say, you did not love me. That is why you told me a lie. And I tell him again the second time, am I mad? Is somebody listening to me? I saw the enemies came, and if not that the strength was still there, they would have finished me. And you dare come back to me again to tell me, you lied to me. You did not love me again. You are crazy. So the secret was because she was using the pattern of coaxing. It's still enticement. Do you understand? She had to use the pattern that the man is helpless about. So sometimes the man knows that she's stupid. And sometimes I've seen men do it for women. They tell you are the only groundnut that they chew. And you say, hey, and you know you are not groundnut. You are the only honey that I lick. It's you. Am I talking to you? And sometimes as a man, when you are not saying those things, the woman looks at you as if you are stupid. And if one idiot is saying it outside, she will come back and tell you you don't love me. Because somebody is telling her outside, your nose is so, you that is short, flat nose, round like a bottle of malt. And now about that there is no woman in this world that is as beautiful as you. Look at how tall you are, and you know you are not tall. Am I talking to you? So the pattern is what coax. That was what she used on Samson. Am I talking to you? So Samson was enticed to release a key information that brought him down. So entice can mean to coax. So how does the devil do it? Two ways they use. They use a situation, one, and an agent, two. A human agent. The human agent can be the enemy or somebody hired by the enemy. In the case of Samson, the enemies were the Philistines. The human agent was Delilah. Am I talking to you? But Samson found himself in a situation where the agent was able to entice. I'm trying to say something. In order to escape enticement, you must be careful of these two things I mentioned. Avoid getting yourself in a situation where the agents can reach you. Hello. So to be enticed, you need to watch out for the situations. And now, let me say this. What are the situations? Let me dwell on the situations a little bit. The devil does not entice you through a situation you will not fall. It's not possible. So what do? They study you. So they study your habits. They study your lifestyle. They study the patterns of your life. So they know over time that you can react to anger. They know over time that you cannot control your appetite for food. Am I talking to you? They know that you like to drink a lot. They know that you love women. So what do? They after studying, they know that this one I need to. So they look for that situation that matches that area where you are weak. So they try to look for that kind of situation. Having watched Samson's story with his Timnath girl, they've already discovered that Samson loves Philistine women. Am I talking to you? So it was easy to look for Delilah. And the moment they positioned Delilah became the situation. The moment he came close to the gates of Gaza and found Delilah, it was easy for the enemies to strike, but the situation is there. There are people that you may never get with a woman. I had a friend in Lagos, and they planted a lady. A lady loved that woman, that guy. We were young then, and the girl tried to get him. It didn't work. I'm not saying that he's born again. He's not a child of God. So this girl came to his room one day and pulled all her clothes. What I'm telling you is a real life story. Pulled everything. The guy stood up from the chair, picked the girl's clothes, wore her the clothes by himself, put on everything. His body did not move. Say, what I did, wear your clothes now. So the girl cried out and said to me, say, you know I love you, chicken. Look at what I did. I said, you did what? If she try you with some kind of in fact, just to come in alone is enough. Now the man will tear the whole cloth with the rest of. Am I talking to you? So if you are trying to entice that kind of person with a woman, you are joking. But don't be surprised that there are areas where that same man can fall. Am I talking to you? There are areas where he can fall. There are people whose problem is money. So when the devil know that you cannot control lack of money, he makes sure he puts in financial pressure until you are lured, coaxed, appeased. Am I talking to you? So the situation forces you to do some things because of the pressure that is involved. Because enticement can put pressure on you to do what you really want to do. Am I talking to you? So when the devil saw that Moses had a problem of anger, he had to lure him. So he created a situation where Moses was forced to get angry. How many of you have ever sworn, say you get hot temper, say since I'm born again I will never get angry again? And the day you finish praying that prayer, as you are getting to the house, you see some people either beating your mother or doing something. You endure the thing, all of a sudden you say, because I carry Bible. Find this Bible can wait. I know some of you have said it. Okay, because you know I now carry Bible. Because I never go to Bible. What happens is that it is the situation that have forced you, it lured you to do those things. For you to make sure, okay, I'm a Bible, show that it was the situation that is reacting. Am I talking to you? In the case of Eve, she was deceived. There are seen people that because they don't know. One of the problems of ignorance is that if you are ignorant and you enter the hand of Nakash, the serpent, you are in trouble. The worst advice to advise you is the serpent. Is somebody paying attention? The worst person to advise. I've seen people who have made mistakes because they enter the hand of men that deceive them, and they saw those men as friends, as fathers, as mentors, as leaders, but they were deceived. So you have to watch it. Watch it. This situation, what is it trying to do? Every time you see a negative situation in the area of your weakness, ask yourself, is there an enticement? James chapter 1 said it. Every man is tempted when you are drawn by your own lust and enticed. So you can be enticed when you are drawn, which means what put you was your lust. Remember, in my early days in Lagos, when I was trying to understand how 419 people operate, I was so hungry and wretched. I was trekking home looking for job. And then I came to a place. I saw people playing table tennis. I don't know how to play table tennis. I've never played. And they said, if you win 500 naira, then. And they said, the winning is 50 naira to win 500 naira. I had 100 naira with me there. So I said, okay. I said, I don't know how to play. I said, no. Even this one is amateur. So they were doing it as if they don't know what they are doing. It's okay. 500 naira sounded big. I took my 15 naira I brought. So I said, winning. Kago. Yeah. They missed one. I got home. Go Go. I got 2 zeros. Okay, 500 is coming. Go. I got 10. Once you got 3, if you get the next one, I think you win. Now that 3 I know this guy is lost. You want my 50 now? He say, hi, maybe this guy get luck. You see, you almost win, you know. I got the remaining 50 that I give him. I tried combo, and I was supposed to use that money to quench the hunger that is already biting my stomach. The same scenario repeated again. Go. You almost win. Hey. They were appealing to my greed. So to entice is to appeal. Am I talking to you? So my greed was anybody who is gonna 419 is greed. Somebody told you drop 1,000. That's how they are. Even these people that is doing better in Nigeria, see the same thing. One of my neighbors was shouting the other day, say, this man cut to my window, 200,000. Say 200,000. How much did you invest? He said 1,000. Say 1,000 would collect. I say you are a criminal. And many of us, if you know how much you have lost by greed, the only one you celebrate is the one you win. Somebody paying attention. I had to go back to the house. Then I got back to the house. They told me get more money. I tried to speak to some of my people to gather money to go and win the amateur. Oh God. When I don't know, those people they know how to position people. When we are coming, we saw the people to this. The people that met me already know that these people are value, so they followed me. So the moment they saw people coming with me, they disappeared. We only made an empty table. What they did was to appeal. You need to check where your loss. Another word for loss is passion, what you desire. Okay? Those your desires. Enticement can touch your desires, and because this is what you love, they will use it to get you. When you love good food, it's easy to catch you. My next time using iPhone 17, and my phone is Nokia Touch, you can be enticed. Watch when you are being drawn. He said you are being drawn by your lust, your desires. If you have been given strength, watch your desires. I've seen pastors drawn away by their desires and enticed. Many pastors today needed to live in a good house. They want a big congregation. So their desires now became the snare for the enticement. Am I talking to somebody? So he created a situation whereby somebody will say there is a place we go to. And some of them went to shrines. Some of them drew power. They already had strength, but they wanted something more. Desires. Their desire created a hunger that brought them down. I've seen great men fall because of their desires. You can be enticed. If you have strength, never forget, strength can be enticed. Strength can be enticed. Some talented musicians left the church and began to sing out there because of money. They want wealth and power, and they thought that God cannot give it to them. They were not ready to wait like Jesus that said, man shall not live by bread alone. They wanted to eat the bread now. Am I talking to you? They wanted the power now. They want the money now. They want the wealth now. They want the ability. They want that greatness now. They were drawn away. Some people want the husband now. They want the children now. And the desire of taking them to some dangerous shrines that brought their lives down and put them in bondage that let their eyes going. When you are enticed by your desires, your eyes can go. Somebody paying attention. When you entice and you fall, the enemy will not cut your hand. He will put away your eyes. Because without the eyes, the strength is nonsense. Because it is the eyes that give direction to the strength. The vision is everything. Am I talking to somebody? So watch the situation. Then number 2, check out for the agents, the human agents. Who are the people coming to you? One of the problems we have is that most Christians, we don't analyze again scripturally. Our guide must not be human beings. Our guide must be the Bible. Am I talking to you? Before you decide what is the Bible saying, regardless of who advised you, even if it is me, regardless of who is telling you what to do, ask yourself, is this advice in line with the Bible? What is God saying? Is this one Nakash? Is he a serpent? He may be a church member. Delilah was intimate with Samson, yet he was the serpent that brought him down. Your wife can bring you down. Your husband can bring you down. I've seen people whose wives became the agents of their downfall. The same thing with the men, the same thing with the women. There are those that their best friends don't agree. The people that brought Julius Caesar down, the great Caesar of the Roman Empire, were those closest to him. When he was fighting for his life with his last breath, they were hitting him left and right. His closest friend, Brutus, was there. But when Brutus lifted his spear and struck Julius Caesar, he just turned. He became a proverb today. Even you, Brutus. The story said that the moment Brutus struck him, he fell down. As he said it, what killed him was the shock that his closest friend is the one that brought him down. And the story had it that it was Brutus they used to bring him to that place where they were able to strike him. One of the greatest leaders of the human history. One of the greatest leaders. If you're to me, Julius Caesar was the greatest ruler, the greatest emperor of the Roman Empire. No empire got to his level. The calendar we are using today is called the Julian calendar. He designed the calendar the whole world is using today. He was so brutal that they went to war. The moment they crossed, he bought the whole ship. He said, we either want to win this war or we die. He has a way of making his warriors fight. He was a renowned military general. But the spear of a friend killed him. Not because the spear was bad, but the young man became a serpent that the devil used first to entice him to come out and to destroy him. So your friend can be the agent of enticement. History of the Bible explained that before the serpent was able to bring Eve down, she first became his friend. The serpent became friendly with Eve before he was able to bring him down. So the human agent will not be far. Let me say it again. They will not be far. Am I talking to you? They'll be so close you may never know. But regardless of what they tell you, ask yourself, what is the Bible saying? I don't care how close I am with you. If what you are doing has tampered with my destiny, I am going to be brutal. Am I talking to you? I don't care who you are. I don't care the history we have together. But when what you are telling me or what you are doing does not agree with God's plan and purpose for my life, I am not under obligation to obey you. Am I talking to you? The disciples said, we will obey God rather than man. Acts chapter 4. If you are somebody who is intent on fulfilling God's purpose for your life, you must watch out for the agents. The agents are also the church. While I was coming back from Holy Ghost this morning, there's this young man that was in the vehicle with me. While we are talking, he said, I don't go to church again. I said, guess what? His story was so pathetic that what pushed him out of the church were people from the church and inside the church. If you check, 90% of people that stopped going to church today, what drove them out of the church was what happened inside the church. Am I talking to you? So the people in the church became agents that the devil is using to entice men out of the church. That is why you must also watch out for those in the church, including me. Nobody is exempt. If you really want the strength that God gave you to be used to fulfill the vision of God for your life, you must watch out for enticement, because strength can be enticed. It is possible for you to be deceived like Eve, to be lured like Samson, amen, to be coaxed, to be forced to take some actions like Moses that was forced to strike the rock and miss out on an inheritance in the promised land. He spoke about the promised land. He dealt with Pharaoh. He destroyed Egypt. He divided the Red Sea. He killed the firstborn sons of Egypt. Yet Moses had no inheritance. in the promised land. You know why? Because a situation forced him to take an action that he regretted. The Bible said that when he began to beg God, God said, I don't want to hear of this anymore. He was enticed and took an action that he regretted. He had no inheritance. Those he fought for received an inheritance. But he that was supposed to divide the inheritance could only see it, but could not enter. He was loaded with the anointing, the strength was there, the ability was there, but the enticement forced him to miss out. Don't forget what I'm saying today. If you are not careful, your desires, your lust might cause you to fall. No matter how great you are, great men has fallen. Esau lost that because he could not control the appetite of hunger. He lost his birthright. There are so many of them in the Bible. Watch out that no man beguile you, that no man deceive you, that no man appease you, that no man coerce you, that no situation forces you to do what you don't want to do, so that you will not miss out on your inheritance, so that you will not stop on the way like Samson, so that you will not die with your enemies like Samson, so that your no enemy will put away your eyes like Samson, so that you will fulfill your destiny like Gideon, so that you are able to conquer the temptation like Jesus, having the ability to control your appetite, that you will not be enticed. This is where I'm going to stop. I want you to rise up. Remember, strength can be enticed. You stand up, let's begin to pray. Ask the Lord to help you. Ask him, Lord, help me.